After 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, we can finally say these words. The Day Before is out now. And sadly, I can in fact say those words because as a Steam review that's been making the rounds says, this game is out. And that honestly is probably worse than if it never came out because it is so underwhelming and bad. Honestly, this would have been better as a game that was just vaporware and never came out. Now we're going to get all into The Day Before, but I will be honest, I only played a few hours before giving up and we're going to go through my entire gameplay experience in this video. But before we do, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what's going on with The Day Before. I will be honest, I didn't fully follow the pre-release story, but this is a game that at one point was the most wishlisted game on Steam because of the cool trailers they showed where they basically advertised a survival MMO, right? That's the key thing. It was really advertised as an MMO. And the thing is, that advertising is completely false, as this is just a run-of-the-mill, bog standard, uninspired extraction shooter, which, don't get me wrong, could have been cool if they had done it well, but they most certainly did not. Now, the game currently sits at overwhelmingly negative on Steam, which, you know, that really means it's a good game, and only 16% of the user reviews for this game are even positive. And if you scroll through the comments, all the positive ones that I can find are basically just memes. But this is a $40 product, which I'm pretty sure after it's not in quote-unquote early access will cost $10 more. But this game purely exists to scam people out of their money because it is not worth that much money. Now, the weird thing about this game too, if you followed it at all, is some of their development team is all volunteers, so I don't fully know what was going on there behind the scenes, but Fantastic, or however you say that development studio's name, does have a track record for doing some pretty shady stuff when it comes to game releases. Now, I think that kind of gives you the basis, kind of The Day Before. It is also pretty funny, a games journalist named Nick Kalanda, he's actually the guy I'm pretty sure heading up the Second Wind group, which is like a lot of the people that left The Escapist, but he tweeted out some screenshots that are hilarious, and that is basically that Fantastic nuked their YouTube channel and deleted a ton of kind of hype trailers and pre-release stuff that they had shown off that was basically all just fake marketing, but they've deleted it in hopes that maybe we won't be able to tell all the fake marketing that they did. But the internet doesn't forget. Everyone remembers all the things they told us, and they clearly aren't fulfilling. But I think with that, I think we hop into the game, and when you launch this baby up, it opens up with a character creation that is extremely bare. Now, that's not the end of the world. I'm not a huge character creation snob or anything like that. I just want to point it out. After this, you go through a server selection, which can be kind of annoying because you'll click on a bunch of servers and it'll just tell you they're full, even though it doesn't tell you that on the side for some reason. But after you find a server, and maybe if you're playing with friends, find the same server, then you get to start the game. Here you open up with a little cutscene where a doctor named Leonard, and don't worry about his name, I will quite literally never mention it again, talks to you about some random stuff that you won't care about. After that conversation is finally finished, you are given this video that's kind of a brief overview of all the different locations that are in the hub world. It is worth mentioning that this hub world is a whole heck of a lot smaller than it was originally marketed as, but here you have things like your gun shop and your medical area and your inventory storage and various other things you would find in a hub world. You'll also see other characters kind of walking around in the hub world, and after about 6 minutes of the cutscene and then the video of the different places, you'll finally get control of your character, where they will now have you walk around the hub area and just talk to various people about the different things that they do. And this actually takes a good amount of time if you actually walk around and listen to what the NPCs are saying. I think you'll probably spend 30 to 40 minutes if you actually listen to them. However, I will be honest, I skipped most of the dialogue, though if you do listen to the dialogue, something seems off. The inflection of the voice actors seems like it's completely all over the place. My guess is they were just given a script and nobody kind of directed them on what to do, and they just recorded lines, and that's why they seem so kind of like all over the place. But I have no clue. It's just not very good voice acting. It isn't the worst, though, that I've ever heard. So while I'm running around talking to all these different characters, skipping the dialogue, spamming the spacebar, I did run into a nice guy who was named Mr. Cumbags or some other weird name, but he was kind enough to do a money glitch, and he was just giving away bags of money, where he would just drop a bag of money and all of us poor plebs would rush to the bag in hopes to be the first one to open it and get some money. Now, unfortunately, I was not lucky enough to get any money from Mr. Cum. But my friend was able to get like 90,000 coins. So he headed on over to the armory and bought like a full set of armor and one of the stronger guns in the game, while I just had all the starting stuff. After this, I headed out to my plot of land. This is where you have the building section of the day before. From what I can tell on your plot of land, you cannot see other people's houses, but just your own. I'm not 100% sure on that. All I know is it spawns you into a different area, and I just had my tent there. But yeah, I built a tent, I threw some furniture in it, and that was that. It is worth noting you can see in this area, you can like upgrade to a cabin or a house and stuff in the future. But it doesn't seem super complex. It seems you're kind of just plopping down prefabs. But after this, you head back into the hub area, and this is where you get to pick your first task for the game. I joined my friend's squad at this point, and we picked our task, which was to go out and find some walkie-talkies. This altogether took us about 15 to 20 minutes, but like I said, if you actually listen to the NPCs, it will take you a lot longer. Here we headed out of the hub area where we're thrown out into the world, which is a fictional version of New York called New Fortune City. It is worth noting when you leave the hub area, it actually just spawns you in a random location on the map. It doesn't spawn you like right outside the hub world or anything like that, so you can't just turn around and go back in. If you want to get back to the hub world, you actually have to find an extraction zone, which is the main reason people are calling this an extraction shooter, and then you can extract with all the things that you found, or just the things you came in with. Now I will note, for all the crap that I give the day before, New Fortune City actually at a far level looks pretty cool. It's fairly sizable, at least, you know, for me on foot, it took forever to traverse, but it has lots of cool buildings and there's tons of knockoff stores and stuff that you would see if you were in real New York. And overall at a base level, the city seems like it actually isn't too bad. However, once you kind of dig into the details, you'll realize how empty and boring this world is. Now, there's buildings everywhere. At one point, they marketed and said you'd be able to enter all of them, and I will admit, I did never expect that. That would be absolutely insane, but you can only go into a handful of stores here and there, and the boring thing is that most of these stores that you can go into have nothing in them. It just looks like they were looted, but there's nothing you can actually go and pick up or anything like that. It's just an empty store with some trash on the ground that you can basically just look at, and that's about it. If I had to guess, the city is composed out of a ton of assets that they've, I don't know, necessarily stolen, but maybe reused from different things or bought from different marketplaces. However, I can't confirm that, although I wouldn't be surprised if over the next week or so we start seeing people point out where some of these assets may have come from. So now that we're in New Fortune City, we have to head to the area to find the walkie-talkies, which you can figure out by opening up your map. Now the map is really annoying because you can't open it unless you crouch on the ground and open it up, so you can't move and look at the map or anything like that. But from here, me and my friend headed to where we could find the walkie-talkies, which is basically just a big circle area where you have to kind of scavenge inside of it to find those walkie-talkies. We did eventually make our way there through an extremely boring walk where there was absolutely nothing on the way there. We didn't see a single player or a single zombie or a single point of interest. Here you can find some bags. I was actually able to find a couple walkie-talkies, and then my friend got bored. So we decided to leave the area and basically just chase down some sounds that we were hearing. And we were running around trying to find players, trying to find anything. And in about the next 30 minutes, we ran into 2 zombies and 2 players. We were able to kill the zombies. I don't even know what the purpose of them is. They're so sparse and they move so slow, you can literally just ignore them and walk by them if you want. After running into a couple zombies, we were actually able to track down our first player, who seemed to just be basically looting in a store. We just ran up on them and killed them with absolutely no mercy. And then I was able to loot their body, where I stole a shotgun and a pistol and some ammo, and you know, the whole gameplay loop was right there in front of us. Now it is worth noting these people that we are killing, my friend, because of that money glitch, is absolutely kitted out. So these people really don't stand a chance, and that would bear more fruit after we track the next person down. And this person actually shot back, hitting my friend and basically doing absolutely no damage because he had so much armor. And again, we took out another person. So at this point, you know, we'd taken out about 2 zombies, 2 players, we found a couple walkie-talkies. We're having a grand old time, right? Not really. But we are still playing the game. Animations in this game are either terrible or extremely buggy, and you will just frequently see people slide across the floor, as there's this bug where if you don't watch someone when they look at their map, when they go to leave their map, they never actually get up. So instead, you'll just see someone sliding across the floor. And so me and my friend would just constantly have that happen. Now we're roaming around, we're heading back to go maybe find the walkie-talkies, and at this point, my friend crashes, unless he lied to me. But this was about at the 45-minute mark, and after he crashed, he just uninstalled the game. And I decided, well, I'm not quite done yet, so I was gonna head back and try and find my last walkie-talkie. When you're walking around the city, you'll hear all sorts of sounds. Footsteps are loud, gunshots are loud, alarms are just constantly going off for some reason, but I'm not 100% convinced that these sounds are all real. I could be wrong, but I feel like some of these gunshots are straight up just fake and are there just to make background sound. However, sometimes you can track down the gunshots that you're hearing, and we would do that on different scenarios. Now, as I was walking back, I did actually run into some people. Here I tried to take a gunfight, and I died like this. I died! Upon death, I was very sad, and as you would expect in an extraction shooter, I would lose all of the items on my character. So I decided to rebuy a weapon with some money that I had left over, and decided to head back into the world of the day before one last time, but this time solo, because my friend abandoned me. So again, I tracked down some gunfire, and I ran up on 2 people fighting this time, where I was able to catch the first guy from behind, pumped a ton of lead into him, and he actually just died. I don't know if he died from bleeding out or if someone else killed him, but he kind of just randomly fell over after I was done shooting him, but it wasn't like right after I shot, so I don't think it was from me shooting him. After this, I started getting shot from a different direction. I tried to take cover, the dude ran up on me and killed me in like 2 shots, and that was pretty much the end of my day before experience. The gameplay is excessively clunky, the performance of the game is horrid, the world is empty, boring, uninspired, pick whatever buzzword you want, the characters and the quote-unquote story in the game are pointless, and overall, this game is a scam. A $40 scam that some people are going to buy, and in my case, I mean hopefully refund, but this game is not worth your money. If you're not checking this out to make a YouTube video, please do not buy this game. This company should not exist. This game should not exist. I hope all the people who gave their volunteer labor for this game somehow got compensated, but we all know they didn't, which is bull. And I feel bad for every single person that worked on this game that isn't whoever decided to make it into what it is. Because this game was never going to be what they told us it would be. It just was never going to happen. The studio behind its track record is horrid, and it turns out overly hyping games off of trailers probably isn't worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed my The Day Before experience, and I'll see you all next time.